You know, I got the Eagles on my mind. And it's more than the fact that we cut Spaghetti Arm Joe Dingbatahan or that we cut Christian Stinkenberg. No, none of that. Or even the fact that Lane Johnson basically said he thinks Carson Wentz is starting week 1. Nah. I have even more on my mind. What's on my mind right now is, what is Howie Roseman got cooking?
Double move on the red.
Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here. So we are less than 1 week before the Eagles give the Atlanta Falcons a prostate exam. I'm so excited, I can't wait. And I'm not talking about the 3-finger tickler. No. I'm talking about the fist of thunder right up there. We are going to double moonwalk that ass next Thursday. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. We will destroy them. We will deconstruct them. We will intimidate them. We will humiliate them. And in the words of Mike Tyson, they can't stop us because our defense is impregnable. Now, we have some things going on. But dude, I am so excited about this season. I can't wait. The game can't come soon enough. It's awesome. Now, we do have some things going on with the Eagles today that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about who's been unofficially cut, meaning the Eagles didn't put it into the league office yet, but we know these guys have been cut. So let's go through the list of the guys that have been cut. So the first guy is Rashard Davis, the wide receiver. He's cut, no big surprise. Then you have the offensive lineman Aaron Evans. He's been cut. Then you have Christian Stinkenberg and Joe Dingbatahan. So Joe Callahan and Hackenberg, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, they have been cut. Tight end Billy Brown has been cut, who was, to me, a big disappointment because what he showed us last year, I was really hoping he would have progressed and he would have given us more. He wasn't really anything. So he got cut. Center John Toth, he got cut. He didn't play that good. He had a bad snap, if you remember yesterday. The tight end Gannon Sinclair, he was cut. And then defensive end, and I can't even pronounce his name, Danny Izuchuku or whatever, he's cut too. So those guys are the guys who we know have been cut so far. The rest will be coming tomorrow. Now, on another note, Alshon Jeffery was cleared today. He cleared his physical, and he is not on the PUP list. Now, I said you didn't have to worry about him going on the PUP list. I know there were reports that, oh, maybe he'll go on the PUP list. He's not going to go on the PUP list just because he may miss a week or two. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen. Why miss 6 games when you only really can't play in 1 or 2 of them? Didn't make sense. But he is not on the PUP list. He is cleared. He will be on the 53-man roster. And that doesn't necessarily mean he plays week 1, but he isn't on the PUP list, and that's a good sign. Now, many of you guys have probably also read or heard what Lane Johnson said about Carson Wentz. He said that he pretty much looks like he's ready to go, and that if he had to predict who was going to start week 1, it's Carson Wentz. I agree with him. I put Carson's chances of starting at 80%. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to be nervous about having Carson go out there and start. He didn't play in preseason or anything like that. We don't know how he's going to take a hit and how that is going to go, and so people are a little worried. Here's the thing that I remember. His rookie year, he didn't play all preseason. He came out versus Cleveland. He played great. You can't tell me that a guy going in his 3rd year can't do better than his first game he ever played. I don't believe that. Carson will be fine. Plus, when it comes to being hit, okay, the only time Carson's going to get hit is when he plays. So he has to play to get hit. You're not going to get hit in practice because they don't hit the quarterbacks in practice. So he has to go out there and he has to play. And whether it's week 1, whether it's week 5, whether it's week 6, we're all going to hold our breath until he takes that first hit. Then he'll be fine. Then he'll forget about it. We'll forget about it, and it'll be the way it is. I say, get it over week 1. Let's get this thing going, and let's go beat the Atlanta Falcons. And I think that's what's going to happen. So once again, I have Carson Wentz starting. I think it's an 80 to 85% chance he does. And like I also said, one more thing. Doug Peterson gave this away last week at the press conference. I did a video on it. He gave it away. And that's just the way it is. So I think Carson's going to play, and Lane Johnson kind of backs that up. So these next 24 hours are Howie Roseman time. They're Howie Roseman time because he's looking at other teams. He's looking at players who are getting cut. And it is very possible that he could find a guy who was on another team that got cut and pluck him onto our team. You know, as my man Adrian, shout out to Adrian from Bitter Bird, said today, it's very possible that the 4th running back spot is going to go to a guy not even on the team. You know, this happens every year to teams. I mean, there's always somebody who's decent that gets cut that you didn't think would get cut that you can pick up. And Howie Roseman knows this more than anybody, and he's going to work those phones. He's going to work the league. He's going to work those waiver wires, and he's going to pick up some guys, I guarantee it. Now, there's another thing that Howie Roseman may do that may shock some people, but I think there's a chance that Steven Means may be traded. Now, I don't say that because I have any problem with Steven Means. I love Steven Means. I love the guy. But he plays on a defensive line that is so deep and so good, he doesn't get enough snaps. And he really, I mean, Steven Means could be a starter on other teams because I think he's that good. And I think that there may come a point where somebody's going to give the Eagles a pretty good value for him and they may move him. And I think that he's probably my leading candidate to get traded right now. I think Steven Means over the next 24 hours could end up on another team through a trade. We'll have to keep our eyes open, but hey, he's just a great player. I really love Steven Means. He always shows up when he plays. Even during the season, in the few reps that he gets, he always makes an impact. So I think the Eagles could get a pretty good haul for Steven Means. Don't be surprised if they trade him. Now, Ronald Darby's safe. Early on in preseason, I said, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should trade Ronald Darby. Maybe it's good. Not anymore. Do not trade Ronald Darby. He stinks. I'm keeping Ronald Darby. But I do think Steven Means is on the block, and who knows? There may be some other guys on the block. There have been rumors about Chance Warmack being on the block, so we don't know. But I personally think Chance Warmack, they're not going to get any trade value, and I think he will be cut. But it's going to be interesting. This is Howie Roseman's time right now. And I'm not expecting any like Khalil Mack huge mega trade to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that time has passed last week. What I think is going to happen now is you're going to get some small trades like a Steven Means, that kind of thing possibly. And then you may get some guys who get cut who, you know, people didn't think would get cut. But remember, this time of year, there always seems to be a guy who gets cut, who breaks off from a team because maybe a salary cap situation, maybe a young guy comes and beats him out. You know, it happens, and we can always, or at least sometimes, find a lot of value in a guy getting cut like that. So we got to keep our eyes open and see what we get. But it's going to be a very interesting 24 hours. I really love when they do the 53-man roster. Also, I want to say this to everybody who doesn't know this. Now, DeAndre Carter, for you guys who are rooting for DeAndre Carter to make this team, one thing you need to know, if he's cut, he is not eligible to be brought back on to the practice squad. His eligibility for practice squad is up, meaning he either has to make this 53-man roster or he's cut. Now, me personally, I think he has to make this roster. I have him making the roster, and we're going to see what happens. So with that said, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I will be back later when we find out what this 53-man roster is, and I will give you my opinions on it. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, and have a good holiday weekend. Dingbats.